And we are live. Okay, so um, to be fair, this is the return back to videos, and this one is pretty straightforward. It's called New Glen's Launch and My Premonition of Success and the Future of Space Leadership. Um, as you guys know, Blue Origin is getting ready. Step by step is definitely getting ready. New Glen launch is about to hit us. I think in a couple of hours we'll have that possibility to see New Glenn launch. I cannot be more thrilled. Okay, there is a lot of lessons that New Glenn launch comes in and brings to us all, and I will try today. I'll make it today so that you can use well your time and effectively learn what's behind New Glenn and in this case Blue Origin success. So you already know this. I do believe the launch will be a success. That's why I'm sharing this, and I'm so excited to be doing this. So a bit about myself. I'm Gonçalo Esteves. I'm currently the Chief Experience Officer at Space Nation, and I'm also the owner of Krav Maga Self Defense for All. I'm overall a person that has won three now NASA challenges so far. It was pretty cool. And I've taken and selected people to become space talent, taking them to immersive experiences in space exploration, in space training. So I do empower these individuals doing things that are very hard, both in the side of space and also in the side of self-defense. So essentially, the key point is to make people act in a bold way. Okay, like follow their dreams, follow their passion, because it's possible, even if it's like completely and ridiculously hard and far away from what you believe that things could happen. So this video also marks it's through the beginning of my journey into podcasting, vlogging, in the things that I truly love. In this case, it's space. Okay, I think it's really fantastic that we're in this time that brings us the possibility to see launches and to participate and be part of the space industry. Um, so I've prepared. If you guys check Blue Origin side, there it is. It's Mission NG1, New Glenn, and of course Glenn was extremely welcoming on knowing that this rocket and overall spacecraft has his name. So fantastic idea fantastic idea from from Blue Origin. It's not unheard of, but I think it works really well. Um, here's the current mission profile. Some folks said it was something like copied from SpaceX, but it doesn't really matter. We'll talk about. There will be a lot of interesting things that are made because you look into the best practice of others and you apply for your lives and for your companies. But it will fly from Complex 336. I've not been into Complex 336. I've been in Plat 39A. But the two BE units will ignite, propelling the second stage into space. The flank separates the Blue Ring Pathfinder. That's a big step. It's a big step in the logistics of space. There is a bit more of comments further ahead regarding what Blue Ring will mean and the fact that we are, again, this strategic vision of Blue Origin that is millions of people living and working in space. It's definitely a different vision from let's go to Mars. Let's make life multiplanetary. So the whole point is that the second stage and throughout the duration of the mission, it will place in the medium Earth orbit. Yeah. So let's see how it goes. I think it will be a great. I do think it's going to be a great success. To be fair. So continuing with some of the outside the core factors in here. To be fair, I've heard a lot of people both from SpaceX, from Blue Origin, mostly from Blue Origin. But this is why I believe that New Glenn launch will be a success. It's a combination of years of effort, strategic leadership changes, big changes, and the shift toward a scalable long-term thinking at Blue Origin. It's not just about the rocket. It's about, I'm going to say, prove that the foundation that is there exists and it's moving. Reminding us that um, it's reminding us the following: that when Jeff Bezos built Amazon, it started with this cash intensive approach into the way that you do business, and then over time it became the giant that we know. So these are two really different approaches into the way that you do business and the way that you build a space company. I've worked with people from both, and I want to share with you some of the insights and why I do believe that now it's a success, because data does show that. Um, let's proceed with some of the, so flight profile is pretty straightforward. Um, I was wondering that the apogee altitude is 19,000 kilometers, so it does seem that very similar to things that we've seen with other space companies. Um, and what I'm going to say, what I believe it's going to change the way that we approach space is the fact that uh, Blue Ring has this capability to be like your big buzz up there, the thing where you can connect stuff. When you say stuff, we can connect, we can bring multiple different spacecrafts, connect to Blue Ring, and it's a logistical part. So it's a multi-mission space mobility platform that can deliver and host 3,000 kilograms of payloads across 13 ports to destinations in geo, cis, lunar, and interplanetary space. So it's interesting, right? Because they are definitely far away, right? If you go think about going to Leo, it's like it's a car ride. A couple of hours you are there. Geo, it's really really far. You need to travel a couple more days in your car, and then of course stepping out. So the Blue Ring ports can accommodate. You've got the type of satellites that's over there, but the fact that the whole mission is composed with an effective payload, it's very interesting. Okay, it will. I think it will allow Blue or Blue Origin, like it's called. I've never worked there, so some people say, "Oh, I worked there." Let's talk about Blue. But most important, when you look into this idea, Blue Origin is definitely going with a very strong approach on the usability. So I'd like to walk us through how did we get here. And I think this is the key on this. So Rob Meyerson has joined as a president in 2003 and leading early development efforts. Guys, I think this was really, really key. Then Bob Smith was appointed as CEO, initiating a new management structure, focusing on contracts like NASA's Human Landing System. They led the team, as you guys know. They led the team, the national team, with other companies. They were like the integrator. Different way to approach this business. Of course, they were beaten by SpaceX later on with a completely different approach and of course price point. Then I've got Nitin Arora, then NASA joined from NASA JPL, Mike Aliola, and it's in 2023 that David Limp succeeds Bob Smith as a CEO. And essentially, like Dave Limp was focusing on operational efficiency. I know stories that it was very hard to do things at Blue Origin, very hard in terms of things go slow, extremely so, because this was, I would say, the old way of thinking about space. The old way, like you have a contractor, a government contractor that has a multi-billion-dollar project, and it just takes time to do things. It just does the time, and it's not the case anymore, guys. It's what I've heard and what I've seen. It's a different mindset. It's just focused on getting the job done, making sure the manufacturing is working properly, making sure that if you need to stop the line, you stop it properly. If you need to start the line, you start it well. So that I think that's a key a key way to see this. And the reason why I wanted to share this, the how did we get there, it's mostly because I believe it's from that initial baseline, but the intervention of David Limp and all the other management structures that changed, that made this possible to get here, to get the full integration happening at Cape. So I've also looked, I would say, more in detail and in a couple of things like rapid integration, long-term planning, reusability focus, and of course the public contracts and space tourism. It's like dimensions that say, why are these two companies so different? And essentially, guys, have in there. Let's see if I can make it a bit bigger. Um, the difference between SpaceX and Blue Origin. I made it a qualitative scale, but just think that rapid iteration is the ability to quickly design, test, and iterate. And guys, you all know that this is the obvious. I'm stating the obvious, but knowing people working on both sides, I've seen it happen. And you guys know that right now will be test flight 7, and this is test flight 1 for test flight 7 for SpaceX and test flight 1 for New Glenn. And I'm not accounting in here the data on the 132 launches from Falcon 9 last year. That's a lot compared to 4 for Shepard. So there's a lot of differences between these methods and modes of doing things. Of course, you do need to have cash to live on this world, and although the dimension of public contracts, as you can see, SpaceX not only used it but use it well and keeps on using it because their product is extreme. But that doesn't mean there isn't not room for more, and there is. That's why we are here. So I believe that over time, these dimensions in the public contract side, and of course, Blue has focused more on the tourism. We could compare 4 missions of Blue Origin in New Shepard with, of course, I, of course, the commercial space tourism led by Polaris Dawn. Are they comparable? I don't. I think they are. One person rents the ship, the other one, the other guys rent the seat. So it's a different way to think about this. Um, but again, the focus on public contracts is something that Blue does very well. They pick up a set of niche areas and they file their proposals because they do have infrastructure. So that's really, really an important thing. So stepping forward, um, what what's also important to look at is it's the following as we think about what about the other, right? What do the numbers look like? And I've added in here Virgin Galactic because they have this very interesting solution that is you don't take off like this, you take off like that, and we go to space. And they've done a lot of interesting work. What I mean interesting is they are trying to put a sustainable business model, making connections with what? Italian Space Agency, doing some research on that. I'm gonna say on that not that long flight, but it's still moving. But in terms of rapid iteration, definitely it took a long time to get to the mothership to work. In terms of long-term planning, this is where bringing Virgin Galactic in here is just where their known strengths exist. But they are completely focused, guys, on space tourism. And if you pick up the data from FAA, you'll see that they did launch. Um, I don't understand yet why don't they launch more? But that's something that I'll investigate in the future. So right now, uh, I would really like you guys to think about that because SpaceX and Falcon 9 leads in reusable technology. That's for sure. Like the that overall, one of these weeks we had 2 launches in the same week, if I recall, probably more than two. So it's definitely that focus on reusability and great engineering that's happening over there. This still means, in my view, that there is room for more. Okay, and that still means that long-term planning. Blue Origin is investing in this, building this infrastructure, and that's not by any chance that they are sending a thing that says infrastructure into space. That's so cool, right? So let's move ahead. Again, SpaceX obviously comes as a winner in here, but Blue Origin is the second one that obviously, I believe it will be a winner. So what does success mean for me? And guys, I'll just read it out. I believe that New Glen's launch will succeed. It's like a combination of years of effort, and that big strategic change between the previous operational manager and the whole shifts that happened over there are now coming to fruition. It's a bit like um, you want to think about what's heard in the business that is like Sh- Gwyneth Shotwell walks in and says, "No, you cannot change all of these things. You cannot move everyone from." And I believe it's in Musk's biography on Liftoff too, from Berger, from Eric Berger. Cannot say you cannot move everyone, all of your engineers, to do Starship because we do have agreements with the government, and that's where we're getting our money. So I do think it's this is the time for the Amazon of space. Um, but I believe it. I really want to believe it's going to reach orbit, and it will come back. Okay, it will be a huge success for that type of engineering, and I also think the space sector needs that a bit of the push forward. Um, and in my case, it reminds me of many of my own experiences. That is either when I led a couple of the three NASA leading projects to sell. It's about this. These are the factors, okay, the key factors. Um, it's definitely not about perfection from day one. Although in my interventions or in my conversations with people from Blue, like it appeared that it had to be perfect from day one, from their designs, from everything took so much time. That's why I say, although it looked like a little of that, but more important, it's about showing up and iterating on that, and then learning every step forward with that purposeful mission. So what this means in practicality is that you do need to show up and you need to win. Okay. Sometimes you win the day, sometimes you win a lesson, sometimes you just win by learning. Okay. You don't win cash at that moment, but you win by learning that, man, this is probably not the best method. So let's change it. So I think that will be a success. So I'm looking forward to see it reach orbit and do not crash. I think that will be fabulous. Um, what more should we see? I think if you guys are over there, if you guys are in Florida, it would be great to to be able to see some of the flight trajectory. I'll be following up with probably from my channel or from other channels, but this gives you an idea of the launch visibility across the launch the time from launch. Again, all of this, many of this is available on Blue Origin's website. And okay, I want to give you a bonus. Okay, really a really big bonus. And the reason why I'm going to give you a bonus is this. It's first of all, you are here. Okay, so if you enjoyed this so far, hit that subscribe button. It means the world for me and allows me to continue to create more content and bring these hard lessons learned from the NASA project and for the space career. But it gives you an idea for what's the approach. What do I mean by this? So if you have the cash, I'm repeat, if you have the cash, guys, to build a great team and to wait for the product to be deployed and to be able to continue iterating even without something coming out of the manufacturing line, but you do have great engineering concepts, you hit you go for the long-term planning, focusing on a contract diversification and reusability, because things will happen. We believe. I think that's the approach from Blue. Okay. On the other hand, if you are, let's say, shorter on cash, okay, or more, I need to show results right now because I've got someone at, and you can see these on Liftoff, the book from Eric Berger when SpaceX was developing Falcon 9. They were short on cash. Fourth launch was either we do it or we lose it, and they did it. So now, what is key in there is the amount of hours of work and the commitment of your people. That's it. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of commitment. Can it have burn downs? Yes. Does it work? Definitely yes. Okay. Um, so, want to be very clear on this. You might want to choose where you want to be or where you want to lead your company. That is, if you have like this 10 years vision that, and you've got, again, investors and money or whatever it is, you've got funds to maintain that 10-year vision to allow to come up, probably take a more long-term planning approach. Why? Because it worked for Amazon. The data shows that these guys built the infrastructure and they went from typically almost zero to a success. Not almost zero, but they went big fast. So take the chart, use it there, use it to audit where you are and to decide what you want to do. And that's big success, big success to New Glenn.